Well, here comes our Bible.
Hi. I love it. We need to get absolutely. We're sorry, every Tuesday. We need to do as many as it's with us. But welcome to our annual chili cook-off. We take this very seriously for those who are not, or those who are new and have not been a part of our chili cook-off before. Whoever wins gets bragging rights for an entire year, which is kind of a big deal. So we're gonna have voting here very soon. As everybody gets their chili, there's plenty, so feel free to refill those cups. Miss Adrian got us all sorts of toppings and goodies. If you think the chili's hot, TCPA 5 are spicy. Be compliant. A little quick agenda of what to expect today. We always go over who we are, hugs and kisses. We have some core value awards to hand out. Then it's time for the official voting of the best chili. We have some welcomes today, some updates from our preferred partners today. We'll announce some quick upcoming events and then some KWCPA updates. And we're going to end with an agent panel. Our core values, anybody want to read those for me? Not all at once. Don't make me call on you, Andrew.
Positivity, integrity, collaborative, growth mindset, ambitious.
Thank you, Andrew.
You're welcome.
And anybody else want to take our core focus and our niche?
I would love to, Brittany Dial. Our core focus is to empower people to reach their goals and dreams. Our niche is collaborative community supporting strong families and businesses.
Why, thank you, Adam,
You're
for
very
being so
welcome.
collaborative with us today. Collaborative.
Yeah. So, hugs and kisses time. If this is your first team meeting with us, this is the way where we like to start our meetings off with some gratitude. So just watch and learn, you'll pick it up really, really easy, I promise. Anyone have any hugs and kisses that they would like to give?
I want to start so I don't forget.
Okay.
Jason Bytop yesterday, I heard somebody talking about our ALC wall and Jason's like, yeah, haven't you been on our portal? It's been updated. We have some red shirts this year too. And it made my heart happy. We'll talk more about red shirts in a minute. But I love that Jason Bytop uses the resources on a regular basis and then shares those resources with all of you. So thank you, Jason.
Thanks for the resources.
Who's next? Andrew.
To Matt and Scott, just both for helping me navigate through some waters that I just was not very comfortable with, and making sure I don't do anything too stupid. So as always.
Claims are also pretty spicy. Claims also very.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
You, Brittany, because even with the flu, you will online 411 set up with me, which was awesome. So thank you. And Bill Hench, even though he's not here, because it doesn't matter. You call him and he's just got the greatest advice. And is he here?
He's not.
Okay, yeah.
But I see a lot of head shaking.
It doesn't matter. Like I call him and he's just always there.
Don't tell him
He
That's it.
I love it. Adam.
Thanks to Espen Shade for helping. You're talking about what you call it, vacant land contract and some contingencies. That's something I haven't really ran into yet. So thanks, man. welcome. Yeah, thanks for your time.
Awesome. Adam?
I'd like to say thank you to Mike Craddock and Matt Madden, because I asked them a question about some firewood, and they were really kind about educating me on the intricacies. You know, half a cord is called a bushel or a morgan, and just thanks for making me feel really loved and educated.
We helped him define what a chunk was, as he refers to it.
Apparently there's some really specific firewood, like a sub niche firewood thing. And yeah, they were giving me a lot, they were laughing in my face. I said 4 chunks of wood, which I think is reasonable. Really not.
I need help moving a cord with this.
Is that how many chunks?
About 4 o'clock.
Awesome.
I just wanted to, with the people that were a part of, they have to be ladies, the panel last week, Drew Richmond, Michelle, Erica Rawls, Julie Hess, and I know I'm forgetting, never list a group of people, you always forget, some of them, but I thought that, in business in general, and unfortunately in real estate specifically, sharing secrets of what it took to get successful is not as common as what it should be. I walked out of there with a lot of really great stuff, and I just appreciated their transparency to be vulnerable and share what they had going on.
I love that. Thank you. Ben and I. Why did I call you?
I don't know.
It's your new nickname.
Want to be quick, to Lance for getting up at 6:30 a.m. to go clean some carpets for me.
Alright.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
That is early bird. Right there. Chris?
One to Mike DeReamer and one to Madison, for piloting our marketing, service right now. So, it's going to be very helpful and beneficial to everyone once it's all together.
Yeah, I'd like to thank McKinsey. I know she's not here. I don't think any of them ever met her. Yeah. Thank you for that. It's very easy.
Thank you, Ed.
I got one for Judah, and Scott working through an issue with our leadership team. Everybody had to get in their own wallets to protect our reputation, and, I think that it's really important. So I appreciate that.
One for Sheila, for manning the front desk.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying not hearing the
Triple
bell ring.
triple for Sheila. She is doing wonderful, helping us up front. Anyone else? I love it, some good stuff tonight. Next is our agents of the month. So last month's winners get to nominate this month's winners. And this month's winners are Kyle and Adam. I don't know if I got on the awards here. Bill Hench got an award a few months ago. He didn't realize that the award was handed down. He can't find it. So I have one, and we'll have to get a replacement, or Bill's gonna have to get us a replacement for the other one. Damaris, Damaris isn't here, is she?
Yeah.
Okay, so Damaris was the one that nominated Kyle. And when I asked her why, you know, what prompted the recommendation, not that I wouldn't recommend Kyle. He always puts his customer first, and he is an example that if you do the work, you will be successful. And so I thought that coming from Damaris, that's high praise. Praising your decision. Yeah. Yeah. So do it any justice. Denny, would you like to say a little bit about why you recommended Adam or nominated?
Here's what I sent. I am honored to work in the same office with him.
And here's what I said, and this is just the highlights. He's quiet, but helpful, and a gentleman who is a sincere person of faith. He has his head screwed on straight. He is not a close friend, but a gentleman, knowledgeable realtor. As we all do, gets frustrated at times, but never seems to give up hope and continues to persevere. Professional in every way.
There you go. I love it. Before we go to the next slide, I want a little intro. So there is a thing called the Gary Keller's Top Team Group and Agent Mastermind. For a couple years, the only team from our office that has been a part of that is, of course, the Dave Book team, right? Why wouldn't they be? And I got an email late last week that we have another team that was added to this mastermind. So I'm excited to share that the Snyman Henry team has been added. It's amazing. So this is out of all the teams across the country. This year, some of these masterminds are going to be virtual, but some are going to be in person, which is even a bigger honor for the Simon Henry team that they get to be in the room and led by Gary Keller. So congratulations. You're both. Up next, we have oh, this one? Yeah. Oh, I see what we're doing today. Okay, we're gonna pass that. Up next, we wanted to give a little more recommendation or a little more recognition to some other people who have been in the news. You might have seen them. Facebook, maybe in print. We have like our own Dave Hook and Drew Richmond up on Real Producers, and I feel like everywhere I look, I see this cover. It's
Yes.
really cool. It's
We're
really cool.
excited for them.
Very excited. We have copies of this upstairs on the mailboxes if anyone wants to jump up and grab one of those before they leave.
And I do want to share, this took a little negotiating. So Coach Fino only wanted Dave on the cover because that's who's on all the listings and that's who's on all the signs. And Coach reached out to me and he was like, how do I get Dave to agree to be on the front cover of my magazine? And I was like, well, that's easy. You have to include Drew. And he's like, well, I don't normally do that. Like normally it's just the team owner, like the one that all the production is under. And I was like, just trust me, think about it. But in Dave's model, Drew now runs his team. She's earned the title of CEO. She's running the day-to-day. If I were Dave and if I know Dave, I know that he doesn't want to take that recognition on his own. So if you want Dave on that cover, you gotta put Drew on there with him. So when I saw this, it just made my heart super happy because I do feel like Drew deserved that recognition alongside him. So I wanted to share that little story. So thanks to Coach for giving some advice. Next up, it is time. Voting time. Voting time. Voting time. Oh! If you scan the QR code, it should take you to a Slido. You have 5 options to vote for.
5.
Is it working? You'll see. Yeah. It's on the gun. We tried. We really did try to have a members.
They had reached, my for this was position.
When I get second, I got a hot sauce.
I can try.
It's good.
All right, their votes in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi. We don't care, like, it tells me we don't need it. We don't need it. That's what it tells me. The people have spoken. The people have spoken.
So would the participants of the chili cook-off, please, raise your hands? And who was number one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was-
Chili, it's so good. Just the right.
Well, thank you all for.
What, you don't like it? What's that? Oh, you don't like it?
The minute I mentioned the chili cook-off for Julie, I was like, I'm doing it.
I just remember the year that Mike Braddock put some crazy hot pepper in his chili.
Oh, those peppers.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll never forget that.
That's the way I like it. Good.
All right. Next up, we have our welcomes.
There was some drop- I'm happy to share.
All right, we have some new interns that we want to welcome to Keller Williams of Central PA. First up, we have Greg. Greg could not join us today. He was working today, but hopefully we'll be able to make it to our next meeting. Dana also is working today. You may recognize her if you frequent Sun Motors at all. She works over there. She was at our KWYP event, and she has joined our office after finishing her real estate classes. We have Tanya Burns. From another brokerage here in the area. We're so excited to have her. Thank you for choosing us. Stephanie. A lot of you as well, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Shanice for helping connect Stephanie with the program. Up next. She's here. Where is she? I don't know. Also, another shout out to Shanice for helping Abby connect with us. And Miss Alexandra could not make it today, but she joined us as well, and she was partnered with KWCPA through Skylar. So thank you, Skylar, for sending us out. Next up. Mortgage money. Oh, there they are. Hidden behind her. Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Hi guys, this is Angie and Jeremy from U Plus Mortgage Solutions. For those of you that are newer, we're your preferred lender for KW. We offer a wide range of mortgage services, but we pride ourselves mostly on the service and interest rates that we're able to provide to all of our customers. Rates are creeping up. I don't want anyone to be alarmed, but today they're at 6.875. I don't know where they're gonna go in the future, but just, you know, maybe having those conversations with your buyers. Maybe if people had tight ratios a couple of months ago, it might be a good time to evaluate if they're still able to go as high as they can, because rates are a little bit higher than they used to be. One thing I did want to mention is that Jeremy and I recently have been going back and forth with customers that were pre-approved and got under contract, and then we were competing with rates with a couple of different other companies. We've completely obliterated the other competition both times. So if you have someone that is on the fence about buying because they think their rates are too high, call us. If they're under contract and they're not really happy with the rate that they're being provided, call us. We do free second opinions. I'm not gonna charge them anything to look at it. It only takes a little bit of time. I'll be happy to do it for them if it saves them money. That's something that I wanna be able to offer for all of you guys.
And building upon that, this is my 23rd year doing this, so there's knowledge and experience behind what we do. And that means that you can rely on our pre-approvals. If someone's turned down somewhere, it doesn't mean that it's a dead deal. We've converted 2 transactions just in the last 2 weeks that closed that were turned down elsewhere. One by a local bank, one by another broker, in the Carlisle area, actually. And for that one that was turned down by another broker, not only did we close it a day early, even though it was already under process with somebody else, I got them 0.5% lower rate than they were gonna get. So it saved the customer money in the end too. Another thing that we're seeing is that a lot of lenders locally are, I call it a gimmick. They're saying, oh, I know the rates are really high right now, but we'll do this free refinance for you later on. Well, nothing's free. Okay. We can do something similar. What it means is when you go to refinance a person, you're not giving them the best terms available. You're essentially charging them a higher rate in order for the lender to cover the cost of the lender credit. That's what it is. It's all gimmick, and I don't play those games. So, you know, we will give someone the best terms every time. If they prefer that the lender cover their costs, we can do that. This means they're gonna accept a higher rate in order to do it. Okay, but Angie's gonna be reaching out to you. We haven't spoken to you or met you in person. She's gonna be setting up appointments with you. We just would like to have an opportunity to discuss what we do in more detail. So thank you for the opportunity, and we appreciate you being here for here.
And then it's original abstract.
Yeah, I got you. Real quick, just, I think most of you know, but if you don't, we do have one more new face in at Original. Becky Hughes is now helping to cover closings and handle kind of the end portion of the process. Becky is also an attorney, so just having that additional knowledge is really helpful. We are still looking to add in the immediate future, one more leadership team member to Original. So if you have anybody that you'd like to throw their name in the ring, have existing conversations going, but always looking to have other people consider. So, thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Couple changes were made to the January training calendar. So as BITOP uses on a regular basis, the agent portal always has our upcoming trainings listed on there. I do want to point out next Tuesday, How I Grew series continues with Shannon Foster. I love Shannon's getting started story. So those first couple of chapters in her journey, she put in a lot of hard work, but that could definitely be replicated. So I'm looking forward to interviewing her next week. And then Adrian is leading a vision board workshop. Do you want to talk more about that?
Yeah, so if you haven't yet created your 2025 vision board, I would welcome you to come. We're gonna have options. You can bring your laptop and I'll show you how to do them digitally in the Canva world, and then you can save it to your laptop. You can print it out and hang it at your desk, whatever. We're also gonna go kindergarten style with some scissors and some glue and some magazines. So whichever is your preferred method, we would love to have you join us. If you have other agents out in the marketplace that you think would benefit from a vision board type of event, please feel free to invite them. Next Tuesday.
Yep, right here.
Right here.
And then following Tuesday, I get to work with Mr. Sid Jin. So brings me back to my Dave Hook team days. And we're gonna do a mock listing presentation. So you get to see how the Dave Hook team wins listings. I'm gonna be the seller. I'm gonna give Sid Jin a really hard time so you can learn some of his good objection handling skills. And then following that mock listing presentation, you get to work on implementing alongside Adrian.
Yeah, so we'll actually, again, hands-on workshop, bring your laptops, bring your computers. We're going to actually work on creating your listing presentation. If you have one you want to redo, or if you haven't done one yet and you need help creating one. Perfect, thank you.
Can I add one real quick?
Yeah.
Tomorrow at noon is Wealth Small Group.
Oh, yes.
Tomorrow is at workshop as well. We are stealing, the KW Wealth Financial, Health Checklist. So you can do your own checklist of where you are on your wealth journey. This will work for anybody from, I haven't yet started my wealth journey to, I think I have my house in order. But let me see this checklist and see if I really do. I can tell you the first time Dave Hook and I went to Austin to do KW Wealth, we both did the checklist and it was pretty embarrassing how far off we really were. Not just in terms of what's on your personal balance sheet, but looking at things like insurance, life insurance, just all different components of the things, not only that help you create wealth, but things that help protect it. That's tomorrow at noon right here.
I love it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Y'all knew it was coming, the family reunion slide. Are you joining this incredible group of women who are going to family reunion in Vegas? We're gonna have a great time. Lots of learning. Any from Erica, Michelle, I'm putting you on the spot, but any reasons in particular that you're going that might be helpful for the room?
So I just found that last year, the year before when I went, there's so many different breakout sessions that could navigate you towards something you've been thinking about or currently working on. So I went through the agenda already for this year and already picked out the workshops that I want to go to and, suggested some to others too. So it just gives you opportunity to really hone in on very specific things in your business that you want to work on. And those nuggets that you like. So, and you connect with a lot of people all over the United States. So it's good for networking too.
I appreciate that. Erin, anything to add?
She did a great job.
Are you going?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Did I say that?
I would just add to that, it's also a great team building for the people that go, right? You really can get to know your fellow agents,
I appreciate that. Yeah, one of the things that you can't put a price on that or a value on it, but when we went to family reunion last and mega camp last, everybody's not able to rush home, right? When we go to these social hours or we have events here, we all have family lives that we have to get back to, but when you're gone, you're there. You get to just focus on being present and connecting, and the conversations that you have in between sessions and after sessions are probably where I've received some of the most value. So yeah, thank you for having that. All right, updates. I just want you to know that we have a process if you need to borrow some signs. I know sometimes people call me, text me, email me, do you have a pending rider? Do you have a for sale rider? I need an open house sign. So we have created a QR code. You can also find the sign request form on the awagentportal.com website. And then this actually will feed right into me. I can check our inventory, see what we have, make arrangements to get you what you need. If you're a newer agent, who just signs haven't come in yet, but you have a listing that needs to go live ASAP, we can probably help you out with that. So also, if you need any help ordering signs for yourself, we have preferred vendors and some resources available. If you need any help with that, just reach out. We also have, most of you know Scott Leroy as our preferred virtual tech service. They just sent me notification that they're now doing every second and fourth Wednesday at 2 p.m. There's an online Zoom where you can ask them anything. So anything tech related that you have questions on, if you and I haven't connected, if you and I can't connect, if you just want to talk to somebody other than me, that's fine. Reach out to Scott Leroy, hop on that Zoom, the second and fourth Wednesday, ask us anything. They apparently had a lot of demand for that.
So they decided to incorporate it into their training calendar, and they're a wealth of knowledge, so feel free to take advantage of that. Next up.
All right, commission requests. So I know back in the day, at least when I was a tech trainer, I was taught to train agents to not submit those commission requests until much closer to closing. And the reason behind that was we had this antiquated system. Do you guys remember us talking about win more? Win more, no more. We were super excited. We were super excited because now that we don't have win more, you can actually make edits to those commission requests. For way back when, we weren't allowed to do that. So once you submitted it, that was it. And the only person that could fix it was leadership team. So now that win more is gone, you can make edits to those requests. It would be incredibly helpful to the leadership team if you could get those requests in within 48 hours of going under contract. So having that in allows your leadership team to see projections. And what that means for you is if we know that Caleb is going to be slammed on the 21st with closings, we might be able to pull in some additional resources to help him process. So that way you still get paid fast and on time. So it's all about getting paid faster, which I think is important to most of you in the room. Yes, I like to get paid fast. Or you could just hire a TC. They do all of that for you. If you do the commission request on your own, this is a QR code for a step-by-step guide. It truly shows you pictures of where to click next, as well as some troubleshooting. But if you get stuck, give Taylor a shout. He'd be happy to help you be more proactive in that process. Anything that I missed, Caleb?
No, I mean, yeah, I'm happy to help with any questions you have. Sometimes what looks on your end looks a little different on my end. So if it's a specific issue, I know I was dealing with a settlement with Mackenzie Irwin the other day, and she does a lot of TC work too. So she knows what she's doing, and it just didn't make sense on the command side of things. She just reached out. It looks completely different on my end. So that type of situation, happy to help. The, randomness that does occur in command is not foolproof. So just let me know what issues you run into. And yeah, if you do just want to walk through of what that looks like, happy to help. Also happy to pass that along to a TC. Precision does a great job at getting all of that information in on time. They're on top of me with making sure that I'm on time with it. So we got a whole bunch of people here that are ready to make this system fast for you guys and get you paid as quickly as possible.
Which is always the goal.
Is that also on the KW command portal thing? That would be a great addition, if not.
It sure is. It sure is. There's the QR code to the link tree, so that way it's available on your phone. We work to streamline the agent portal. We're still going through, Scott Roy Marketing has been helping us. We realized it got a little crowded, which made it difficult to find things. So we have been trying to make it easier. We'll take any feedback that you have on the portal that we could do to make it easier. So the homepage should look really different. And yet your basic stuff that you go there for all the time should still be where you normally found it. I just kind of got rid of the noise that hid all the stuff that you really need. All right, so your leadership team had their yearly meeting last week to go over what our goals are going to be for 2025. And so in a much condensed version, an all-day meeting down to a 2-minute slide. These are some of the changes that we made to our 5-year vision and our 1-year goals. So for one, we changed our 5-year vision to be more around things that we actually get excited about. So before it kind of had some immeasurable goals that were cool to talk about. It looked fancy on a document, but really didn't have meat to it. So what we decided as a leadership team was in 5 years, we'd love to be able to help a total of 10 teams achieve MREA 7th level status. We would also love to change 100 lives by ensuring that they're on their path to financial freedom. So it's important to us that not only do you make commission checks, but that you can use those commission checks to build wealth for your future. We really want to make sure we're setting you up for that success. We also want to empower at least 50 agents to build businesses that are capable of being carried on by future family members, mentees, or future business partners. So we recognize, and from our training that we held last week, not every team owner wants to be Dave Hook team size. Not every team wants to be that 7th level, but that doesn't mean that you can't build a business even as an independent agent that allows you to get off the hamster wheel of sales and retire someday. So you can build a business as an independent agent that allows you to retire. So we want to make sure we're setting all of you up for success. What does that look like? Well, to eat an elephant, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. So we broke it down to 1-year goals, and then we're going to go over some things that we're going to do next quarter. But our 1-year goal for this year is to help you all sell 1,000 listings. And we also want to create 5 new CAFers from within our organization. So we're hoping that our tools, resources, trainings, mentorship can help 5 agents within Keller Williams of Central PA who haven't capped before make it to that cap status. So that way they can enjoy 100% commissions. Part of that journey this year is going to be thanks to our 2025 ALC. So big round of applause for our 2025 ALC. You'll notice here that we've introduced a new concept this year. So taking on a leadership role in the Agent Leadership Council can sometimes feel a little bit intimidating. So we have 3 red shirt members joining us this year. So Shanice Tucker, Madison Nunemaker, and Kara Beth McCartney. What the red shirt opportunity means is they don't have to do all the covenants of an ALC member. So they don't have to go to family reunion. They don't have to go to mega camp. And yet they get to test drive it. So they can come to the meeting, listen into the conversation, and come to some of those events that the ALC gets to be a part of so they can see what it really is before they make a commitment to join next year. So we're excited to test drive red shirt with our test driver. So congratulations. ALC's vision to help us get closer to our goals is we really just want to be leaders who create leaders who develop other leaders. So that was our whole focus around our ALC retreat. And I love our narrowed down focus instead of trying to have 20 different initiatives. This is all we're trying to do is develop future leaders for our company.
Quick question, that red shirt concept, I love that. Is that a KW Central PA initiative, or is that something you borrowed from KW in
I
general?
do believe other KWs do it, but I'd like to think that we can.
If it works, it's our idea.
Yeah.
Failure is an order.
All this fortunalities in real estate, we felt like this. worked. All right, so this is part of how to help you all sell 1,000 listings. And as your leader, I always tell you, you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. I'm already sweating. I got really uncomfortable to bring you this next challenge. I'm dying.
Convenient.
Oh, come on.
Convenient.
Come on.
No challenge.
I can-
Just more time to think about it.
We tested it, we tested it.
We tested like
it,
4
we
times.
did.
I know it goes live here soon.
It's karaoke.
Things private. You got a little YouTube.
Hold on a second, yep. I gotta make it. It was supposed to be shareable with anybody with the link. This was done on purpose then.
Hey, for what it's worth, last year we took 978 listings.
And did it work out?
We did not sell 978, we took 978, so, just filling airspace here.
That's helpful context.
That was great, I was curious where we were, how close. Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Are you, do you have KLRW?
Do we know how many actually closed in?
I wanna say it was 8, mid-8s.
I might have to go grab my.
So it's somewhere around a 15-20% increase in closed.
And how many agents do we have now? Because we picked up a lot.
Actually, our agent count is
I know.
effectively even from 12 months ago.
Yeah.
Which is,
Weren't we at two?
220.
It was a little
somewhere.
two. Somewhere in there. I guess we lost some. Oh my gosh.
Water.
They would have been in
I'm sorry, that's the thing.
I think this is gonna work now.
Oh, we're doing the 75.
Oh, here we go, Cal, don't go, you sent us the invite.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. I'm so good.
you ever felt like you needed a push, take your life? Make our challenge, and it's not what you think. This isn't just about fitness, it's about growth, accountability, and pushing yourself to new heights, personally and professionally. Look, I'm going way outside my comfort zone here. Here's what's included. 4 colleagues conversations, 10 text messages or DMs, 1 personal note mailed. A daily workout, weekday scripts and role play, 10 minutes daily of meditation, prayer, 10 minutes of reading or listening to a podcast, connecting with a realtor every day. There's even a way that using a TC and submitting commission requests on time. So why do this? Because it's not just about business. It's about becoming the best version of you. Plus, there's a prize for the team that wins. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. So what are you waiting for? Join the challenge, sign up now.
You know, I, like, interrupted a math small group a while back. I was just minding my own business, warming up my lunch. And we got some feedback about Bold, some things that you didn't like, but some things that you loved. And we were asked, well, how can we recreate Bold, but all the aspects of Bold that we like? Like, we want to keep the team atmosphere together. We want to keep the accountability. We want to keep the competition. We want to keep the daily scripts and role play. So we put together a 75 hard challenge. So the daily tasks are, like I said in the video, you're going to do 10 voice-to-voice conversations. Daily is Monday through Friday, by the way, don't panic about the weekend. 10 text messages, DMs, or emails, because I know some of you are more social media focused. 1 personal note mailed, a daily workout, that is what it means to you. I am not a personal trainer or a doctor, so whatever physical activity means to you, be within integrity and define that. Daily scripts and role play, meditation, prayer, or silence. Read 10 pages, or for those who really think reading is painful, you can listen to a podcast. So try to be flexible, and then just connect with another agent. It could be internal, external, but we all know that building those relationships do help those offers get accepted. There are redemption opportunities, just like in Bold. So I know a lot of people in Bold love the opportunity to not do all the hard work, but they can earn bonus points back. So some ways that you could help earn more points Of course, non-PW agent referrals to leadership. Get those commission requests submitted within 48 hours. Caleb will thank you. Make sure all your documents are in command for closing. Attend Education Tuesdays and our group lead gen sessions. You get double the points and you get to negate like half of these things if you use Precision TC or a TC or admin to make sure those things are done timely. And then you get triple redemption if you sign up for a family reunion. If you've already signed up that first week of the challenge, you get to mark that off so you can get your points. But all of this is to help you grow. We're also going to include weekly group coaching sessions. You'll have teams. So we do have a cutoff date for registration. It'll be January 31st. So that way we can have time to put together the teams, get captains assigned for the competition to start officially in February. You'll have daily habits that will push you to grow both personally and professionally. And then there's going to be a chance to win a big prize. So go ahead and sign up now. Now, there's a small fee. The reason for the fee is what we've learned with Bold. If you don't pay for it, you don't have skin in the game. If you don't have skin in the game, you don't do it. So we don't want to put all this effort into creating this awesome challenge for you guys, and then everybody fizzle out about week 2. So it's $75 for the 75 card challenge. And all that money just goes towards the prize. So the more of you that sign up, the bigger the prize for the team. So it's win-win-win for everybody. Feel free to share this with agents who did not come in today. This can be a couple of external agents if you think they would be interested in joining in on the accountability. This is our way to help you hit those 1,000.
When does the 75 days end? When are we finishing up?
It's mid-April.
Okay.
I do have it in a spreadsheet. Once everybody signs up in the next week, Adrian and I are going to be working on all the tracking tools for you. All the things that are going to make this even more enjoyable. We spitfired this literally last week. So everybody can also thank Ben for editing a video on a Sunday. So that way I can get this done by today. Any questions?
When does it start?
February 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah. And we liked that timing because normally in January, everybody's pretty pumped. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna hit 2025. I got all these goals. It's great. Silver January or whatever we call it. And then like that last week of January, like not eating carbs and the fun start to wear off. And you start to feel like, I don't really like this anymore. So we wanted to bring that fun back just about when you're about to give up and go back to those old bad habits. We're here to help you stay on pace.
I'm just curious, has anyone here ever done the 75 hard too?
I tried. Now, the good news with this,
I'm just curious.
so typical 75 hard. If you take a day off, you have to start over. In this one, it's just points. So the team that finishes with the most points at the end, they win the prize. So the team that has the most consistency wins. So that's how we're doing our challenge, because we need to have an end date so we can celebrate you. And then if we love it, we can continue it every quarter. Or we could try something different, but we'd love your feedback.
How are the teams gonna be picked?
Most likely what her and I talked about is we're going to try to keep teams no larger than size of 5 to keep it a manageable size. Most likely put in a randomizer, like an app there's apps that'll just review together.
But the cool thing about this is the way you have the point system set up is a brand new agent has the same opportunity as somebody with 20,000 people in their database.
Yeah, right. Right, yeah, so we didn't want to make it based off of like listings signed or because we wanted it to be fair game from independent agents to agents on teams. It's centered around the activities that you need to do. As a leadership team, we're gonna have tracking around the listings you might be generating because we do want to see if it's working, but that's not going to count towards your points. We just want to be able to tie it back and be like, hey, we think the 75 hard challenge helped us increase our listings by 10% this quarter. That way we know, do we need to continue it or do we need to change things up? So it should be an even playing field for everybody. Are we in?
Seems cool.
You and your ice baths, that would work well.
Yeah, back on the point. I'm not gonna do that. No points, though.
It's your recovery, it's your meditation. All right, well, thank you all. We're gonna get ready for your panel. My panelists can come on up. Yes.
Stephanie, can I ask for that chair, please?
Oh, you're good.
How many panelists do we have?
New Year.
I have.
I do.
From the Carlisle. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I remember that.
Yeah, they left. They're just going out.
Oh, no, I'm actually.
You went to get food.
But I took Tom and my family was just hard and then I was still trying to go. Yes, because tomorrow.
Brittany, you blew the cover this morning. I got the.
You guys.
By email?
You know what? Yes, and that's why I made.
There was no link, there was nothing. I actually.
I think.
Yeah, of course.
Have a seat. Oh, wait. It's on the. Yeah, this thing's not.
I don't know. I mean, we're gonna be in Cancun for 5 days. So it's just a violence.
It's like, it's gonna be like spring, like spring. Yeah.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started as everybody's trickling back in from getting third or fourth. But this panel was actually inspired by a comment, I think it was Dave Hook made in one of our other trainings. He talked about how investing in education can actually yield around 300% return on your investment, so long as you implement what you learn. So implementation is obviously the key point here. And that's one of the investments that we often take for granted. Many agents get into the business, they want the highest split, they want the, lowest expectations, it's all about getting in for freedom. But what they don't realize is how impactful our learning opportunities are in our coaching and education and trainings, and how vital it is for our success to actually grow businesses that are successful. So today we have 4 panelists who are known in our market to be intentional with investing in their education, whether it's through coaching, going to conventions, or simply taking classes like Business Planning Clinic and coming and participating in Education Tuesdays. We're lucky to have a guest from our sister office at East, Ms. Kim Hittner. So welcome, Kim. Thanks for trucking all the way over here to be a part of this. So I'll go ahead and I'll start with the first question. And Kim, I'm going to start with you, and then we'll just work our way down. Does that work? All right. So the first question is, what was the first big investment that you made in your education, and how do you feel it impacted your business or your personal growth?
Okay.
Well, just to share a little bit about, why education is so important to me. I was in direct sales for 32 years, and this is a second career for me. And education was really important when I was in direct sales. So when I came into real estate, it just carried right over. I knew that, it was something that I needed to do on a yearly basis. So my very first thing that I invested in, I was in the business less than a year and I took hold. It was an $800 investment. I had not done, I think I did maybe 2 transactions, and so it was a lot of money for me. But, of my market center, and you may do this here too, they offer us a way that we can get reimbursed for taking it. So for every transaction that we get during Bold, they reimburse us. So my goal when I signed up to do Bold, only being in the business less than a year, was I'm earning all this money back and it's gonna be free. And so when I signed up for it, I had 2 transactions under my belt, and by the end of Bold, I had 8 and earned all my money back and took my very first Bold for free.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
What direct sales were you in? Do you mind me asking?
I sold Princess House for 32
stop.
years.
Okay.
I was an area manager with a downline of about 60 consultants, and then it dissolved in this area and I freaked out and I was like, what am I gonna do? Because I thought I'd retire doing that.
Wow.
And then I came into real estate.
Oh, my mom.
Oh, yeah, all the moms and
Oh,
grandmas.
yeah.
And well, I was gonna say, no, none of the young, anybody under 40 never heard of it. It was Crystal, but if you've never heard of like Tupperware or Home Interiors or Mary Kay, it was that same thing. We went in and shows and sold products.
I love it.
Yeah. So.
I'd say one of my biggest investments early on was being, just actually shadowing somebody. I took a really low split at a company where I could be, right underneath one of the owners and just kind of watching and learning, and I mean, it was a very low split, so I'd say it's a big investment, but I'd say it's probably one of the most beneficial ones.
I love that. Yeah, me too. Best thing I did.
Well, first of all, guys, give Brittany a round of applause for putting this together. You're phenomenal. For those of you who don't know, my name is Judah Huber. And I've done nothing but sales and real estate, and network marketing, for about 35 years. My uncle, when I was like 16, took me to see Robert Kiyosaki, speak over here in Hershey. Paid my way to get in. And so I don't remember, the first training that I took. That was probably it. And how it impacted me was just teaching me at a very early age. There's a bunch of speakers like at, family reunion and other stuff like that. Learned entrepreneurship, sales, positive mindset. Learned, probably the biggest thing that I got out of that first training was the concept of always investing in yourself and always reading good books and always learning. And so that's just been a lifelong passion of mine. But also the thing that I learned from that was, my uncle and my mom were one of like 7 kids, and they all have like, a bunch of kids. So I'm one of like 50 cousins, and I have no idea why my uncle picked me to go with him, but it changed my life. And so I think that if you can help other people on that journey of education, it's very, very valuable.
I love that. Thank you. Miss Erica?
My first coaching experience was through Sue Kent. That was and I think she's still in the business. I gotta check on her. Yeah, we have the same birthday.
Why pay rent?
So, what's that?
Why pay rent?
Yeah, so, no, so the way I started out at Howard Hanna. And I'll never forget, I was sitting at the duty desk and I was like, okay, I'm hoping someone calls. I don't think we have that anymore, do we? Do people call in still?
Yeah, and AOC gets them.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so duty desk, you had to sit down and get our calls. So I was sitting there, she's like, who are you? I'm beautiful. What's your name? She's so inviting. Anyone that knows Sue Kent knows she's gonna make you feel warm and welcome. And I was like, you know what? I'm just really itching to get started in this business. She's like, how itchy, how bad do you want it? I said, I want it really bad. She's like, okay, well, I can coach you, but you have to work for it. And she laughed. I'm like, okay, good. I can do this. So long story short, I was literally her gopher. I did everything for her. She showed me how to write a contract. She showed me how to read a contract. She would actually have me go to her appointments. She gave me my first listing through her. And I had my first open house and we learned that way. So from there, I was able to generate other business. She said, oh, no, honey, we don't start there. And she brought out this Rolodex, this index card where she actually had her CRM, all of her clients in there with their birthdays. She's like, you need to get a box with your index cards. I was like, oh my gosh, okay. So all the clients' names I had to put on there, their birthday, their anniversary, their everything about their children. She's like, you have to go to their bar mitzvahs and you have to do this, you have to go to the funerals. I mean, she had it all down packed and I had to follow her. And so it's because of her, I was able to get into that pattern. And I was seeking more after that, and I ran into someone that was at Keller Williams, and that's how I got into Keller Williams. I said, hey, Sue, thank you for everything. I was there for a year. I said, but I want to go and run my business like a business because of you. She's like, you go for it. And we stayed connected for the longest time. Our birthdays on the same day, but that's my first coaching experience.
I love that. You're looking directly under someone.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't put a price on it. I'm gonna start with you and we'll go back
Okay.
for the next question. Can you share a specific tool, strategy, or mindset that you gained from an educational event or program that directly improved your results?
I think it's simple. It's our, I would say it's our database, learning how to manage our database. Yeah, you can get coaching, however, just building those relationships. So the tool that we use most often now is just simply our database, staying connected with people, building relationships. That's the best tool that I would
Love that.
do.
Yeah, one of the biggest tools that I utilize right now a lot is the Bold workbook. You know, running and helping organize and lead a team. I am amazed. I guess I shouldn't be amazed, but a lot of the questions that they ask me, a lot of the problems, a lot of the challenges, I just go right to right to the Bold book. It's been very helpful. And you know, we run EOS. So as far as tools that we utilize, everybody on our team, we do a 411, you know, which is a KW tool, obviously. We develop scorecards for each of them and sample daily schedule that we then track and monitor that they're doing it. I was telling you guys, you know, I'm not your boss. You know, I'm just giving you the tools and you know, I'm going to make sure that you do this, but then it's up to you to utilize this. So I'm a big believer in tools and organizations. Somebody made a joke around, you know, I've known John Henry for a long time and he's always, you know, squirrel. That's exactly how I am. And so I need tools to stay. And I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on books, tapes, seminars, and coaching. And one of the things that I always pull from them is what tools, what form, what, you know, what am I getting from this? So I really like tools.
I love it. And the EOS system that Judah is talking about is from the book Traction. So those scorecards, like how to run the organizational side of your team is from that book. And Judah, if you don't mind sharing, you said this to me the other day, and I just loved the metaphor around skydiving.
Yeah, so I got divorced 10 years ago and wanted to do something life fulfilling and needed a new group of people to hang out with. And so I started skydiving. It's awesome. And I didn't want to go tandem because I knew like you could go skydiving. And so I took classes and I'm a licensed skydiver. I have 105 skydives. And the thing, like when you go skydiving, it's like a group of people and like everybody supports one another and everybody loves and takes care of one another, but you're responsible for your skydive. You're responsible for your skydive. You're responsible for your skydive. Like, you know, so somebody will give you a gear check and like, you know, there's people who will, you know, help you and talk to you about your dive before you do it and after you do it and everything like that. But we have this thing where we say, you're responsible for your skydive.
And I love that because we can provide all the tools, the resources, the coaching, the training, but at the end of the day, You're responsible for your business. So if you
Yeah.
want it to grow, you gotta put in the work.
It's like a gym. You know, if you join a gym, you know, they've got all the equipment there, but they're not gonna do the push-ups for it.
Amen. Ben?
Well, I'd say tool wise, I mean, some sort of database, whether it be a CRM or your phone, however you do it, I think that's the best tool, but working off of that, one of my favorite and probably the easiest tool is just role playing, scripting, having the conversations, even just, I'll come in the office and just keep my door open and listen, because you know, you can absorb so many conversations and some good, some bad, some you take something from everything. So role playing was a big one for me. Especially because I started really young and I would just be in the office and just listen to conversations. And then, you know, I feel like with education, you're always preparing for your future self. So you're not gonna need it right now. And a lot of the education will come from, it'll be more reassuring than it'll be like reinventing the wheel. So I love like absorbing all that stuff and taking what you need from it and implementing it into, you know, your calls and your conversations and from there.
I love that you bring up just being in the office, you know, investing in your education doesn't always have to be monetary, like it can just be time. And literally just spending time in the office and listening to Jason take a phone call and Ben take a phone call and Erica take a phone call and Michelle, like learning from those experienced agents and just hearing how they handle certain conversations can be the best thing for you. When I joined the Dave Cook team, we had to listen to scripts numerous times. And I would literally just drive around listening to video scripts in my car, like I said, of the radio, and it did wonders for me. You had an experience at family reunion around scripting.
Yeah, I mean, I was struggling with cold calling, or I always felt like either you call somebody for a lead or you call them because you truly care. Everything else is a little gray. But I struggle with the gray area, and I had an experience where I went to family reunion, I went to one of the conversations, and I just went up after and was like, hey, listen, can I just kick, you know, a script off of you, what I use with some past clients? And he's like, well, what are you struggling with? It sounds good. And I said, well, my struggle is I feel like I'm asking for something. I said, and I don't want it to seem like I'm asking, I'm not calling somebody for that per se. And he said, well, just, you know, flip the script, offer something to them. He's like, if you're saying, you know, hey, listen, who do you know that needs a win? Who do you know that needs an off-market property or something like that, where you're more giving than receiving? And that was a big one for me. So, I mean, that was kind of like, hey, let me run something by you. And I got probably more from that conversation than I got from the whole actual meeting, the whole
And he
like
was
hour.
a panelist, right?
Yeah.
That just took, and that's the connections that Michelle was talking about earlier, like most of these panelists, they want to speak to people afterwards, and he just caught him in the hallway. And that was his best takeaway, so.
Well, and it was more reassuring actions because I had been following up with people, but I'm sure I was hitting maybe 20% of my capacity. Once I flipped that script where I was like, you know what, I can go to them and ask what they need versus what I need, then my capacity went up higher, I thought.
I love that. Ms. Kim?
Mine's more not an actual task, or I continue to do educational things to keep my mindset right and to keep my motivation up. And people have said to me already, wow, you've been doing sales for over 40 years. You must have been to thousands of educational events. Yes, I have. But I keep continuing to go because I've never attended an educational session that I didn't walk away with some type of nugget or a ha-ha. And so to me, it's worth investing the time, but it also keeps my mindset in the right place so that I can continue to do my job and do the things that I'm learning to keep my business growing. I have all the bold laws printed and they are framed on my desk in my office. So I look at them every single day. And my favorite bold law is you can have reasons or you can have results, and you can't have both. Back when I was in my other direct sales, it was you can make excuses or you can make money, but you can't make both. And so they're very similar, but I kind of try to think about that all the time because we just find ourselves making excuses for the things that we should be doing. Or, you know, we don't want to do, I should say. And a lot of times attending trainings and educational events are things that we put off and we don't do. And so that's why I continue to do them, is for the mindset and just the motivational aspect.
And it's always, when you're feeling overwhelmed, you feel like that's the easiest thing to say no to, because you're like, it doesn't affect anybody else. You know, you're not saying no to a person, you're just saying no to yourself, but it is so critical. And I'm the same way as you, Kim, like a lot of times for me, it's for mindset,
Yeah,
keeping my mind, because I do this,
yeah,
full disclosure. Like I am not highly motivated every single day of the year. But reading books help me get back to where I need to be, or going to classes. So I appreciate that. Kim, we'll start back with you again for the next question. How do you measure your return on investment from educational opportunities, whether it be financially or in terms of personal growth?
I measure it by production. I always look at my production after I make a big investment in an I look at what happens to my business after I take bold, what happens to my business after I go to family reunion, what happens to my business after, like, if I pay money to do a regional event, like I'm going to see the speaker next week down in Philly. And so I always look at what my production is after I pay for those things. And I just took bold in the fall. My business was on a little bit of a hiatus over the summer because I had a daughter that got married down in North Carolina. And my team leader knows this about me. I can only focus on one thing at a time. I am not a multitasker. When I'm in, it's 100% in on whatever I'm in on. Well, my business isn't what I was in on over the summer. It was my daughter's wedding, planning a bachelorette party, a bridal shower, a wedding in another state. And the team leader met with me in July and he was like, your business is down 40%. Like, what's going on? And I said, I'm planning a wedding. And so I took bold in the fall and got reset, got refocused. And November and December, I had my best 2 months in real estate since I've started.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is huge.
I know. I hit the $1 million club in November and December.
Nice.
So, but I attribute it to taking bold. I mean, I got refocused and did the things I had to do during bold, and then the results showed up afterwards. So that's how I evaluate my education, is where's my business at after I've invested? And 9 times out of 10, it's way ahead.
I love that. How about you, Ben?
So I think I pick my education and I do the ones that I enjoy most, and also the ones that are most relatable to me. So like I did film reunion last year and I got a lot out of it, but like I will get just as much out of the small groups or the wealth groups or things like that, because it's very relatable. Like I can tie all of my rentals, all of my investing back to one class that was like a continuing education class that's like in person, where the instructor just got up and was like, what questions do you have? And it was very relatable, very like, okay, this is what I would do. This is, you know, situational, everything. And that for me, that's like, if it's relatable and it's a relatable speaker, I absorb it better.
I can totally relate. Yeah. Yeah. And I love that you mentioned small groups, because again, that's free. Your investment is time, but you gotta show up.
Well, I don't say with most of the training, you go and you hear somebody talk, but you don't get the opportunity to ask them questions. And you get that opportunity. I mean, like, it's easy to watch Mel Robbins say a couple things and get inspired, but there's not a lot of tactical things you can do per se.
Right.
Whereas like if you go to a small group, we might talk about one specific thing for 25, 30 minutes. And you can get a lot of intricacies, and then you have those people to go back to and say, hey, I started implementing this. What do you think? What should I do differently?
I love that. Yeah. And that's where that implementation is, where your return on your investment comes from.
Yeah.
Is actually doing things. Yeah.
Yeah, so how do I measure my ROI? Good question. I think that one of the, I mean, I have two kind of answers here. One is feedback and the other is stress. So, I love to cook. And I love when people praise my cooking. No, I mean, I love when people praise my cooking because they get praise. But I love when people praise my cooking because they enjoyed it. And that means I created some joy in them. So, when I'm teaching, training, coaching, and people say, wow, that was valuable, wow, that was impactful. I think to myself, where did I get that, right? Like if you give somebody a diamond and they're like, wow, this is beautiful. Like I'm going back to the diamond mine to get more diamonds, right? So, so feedback is very important. And the second is stress. I lied on the application to join Amway at the age of 17. And so I've always done, positive mindset, growth, business development stuff, and I've been exposed to this stuff for the longest time. And one of the things that I always say is the magic happens outside your comfort zone, right? That's where all the magic is, outside your comfort zone. And I realized I've been saying that for 20 years, but my comfort zone just so happens to be bigger than the average person's. And I was outside the average person's comfort zone, but I wasn't really operating outside my comfort zone. And so now one of the questions I ask myself is, am I kind of sort of failing at this? Am I kind of sort of sucking at this? Am I actually, because if everything I'm doing is easy peasy, lemon squeezy, well, then I'm not actually growing my business. I'm not actually doing anything new. I'm not actually implementing the stuff that I learned. There needs to be stress. I need to be failing a little bit in order for it to, so, and then that also feeds back into, this one's just for free, that also feeds back into my mindset is because when it's stressful and when it's difficult and when I'm working till 10, 11 o'clock at night, I remind myself, this is good. This is okay. It's okay that I'm failing at this because it means that I'm growing. I'm stretching myself. I'm becoming more. One of the bold laws is your business grows to the extent that you do. So anybody who works out tell you that there's sore muscles the next day.
You build resilience.
Yeah.
You're stretching.
Hold on, though, you just slipped by, I lied on my application.
I know.
Well, you have to be 18 to join a network marketing company or blah, blah,
Oh, your
blah.
age.
So, yeah. So just like, so you hear that story about, people like lie, say they're older to join the military, and stuff like that. I did that for network marketing.
Okay.
Good catch.
Yeah.
It depends on the training. So is it personal development? Is it business development? Is it physical development determines how my return on investment, how am I going to measure that? So for coaching, I'm looking for 7 to 10% return on my investment. Am I able to get $120,000 to our bottom line by getting coaching? If not, I need to look for another coach. For business development, the strategies that we implement, are they improving? Is there an opportunity? Where's the gap? So I'm able to measure it that way. For personal development, am I or am I not working out? Is the coach that I have assigned to me helping me? And am I wasting my money that way? So because of that, I've always canceled my personal trainers. So
Okay.
I have true story. I don't like to do something unless I'm able to do it on my own to invest money into it, meaning, so if I can't work out on my own, then I'm wasting everyone's time. So I decided that I'm going to make an extra effort to exercise every day and then earn the right to have a personal trainer to get into the body or the physique that I choose to have.
I love that.
So after 90 days, yeah. So, yeah, that's how I measure my return on investment.
Very calculated.
Well, I have accounting background too, so that helps.
Erica was an MCA in her previous
Yeah, I was.
life with KW.
Yeah.
So I love that. We'll start with you, Erica. What advice would you give someone who's hesitant to invest in themselves due to time or financial concerns? And how have you overcome similar challenges?
I struggle with that because I think if you don't have a growth mindset, then how are you an entrepreneur? I really do believe that. You have to be able to grow, to evolve into the person that you need to be in order to get to where you want to go. It's easy to be mediocre. You have to stretch yourself and get out of your comfort zone. The only way you can do that is by investing in yourself. If you're afraid to invest in yourself, then you need to get a 9-to-5 job, period.
Oh, I love it.
Boom, big truth.
She said it because I can't.
I love that. Judah?
Yeah, so, you know, let's have a thought experiment, you know, you decide, like, there's this training here, how am I gonna decide whether or not I should go and take that training? I think the first thing you should do is talk with your accountability coach, your mentor, or your, you know, supervisor about that. Even if you're a solo agent, if you don't have a accountability coach or person you run these decisions by, that right there is a lesson in and of itself. I think the next question you should ask yourself is it KW training? And I think that, you know, guys, the training this company has is maybe just second to none. I was an independent agent for 10 years, working for an independent brokerage. And when I knew that my next career step was going to be running a team, there was no doubt that I was joining KW. This company across all industries is always ranked as number 1 or number 2 when it comes to training. If it wasn't awesome, they wouldn't do it. You know, they don't make money unless we make money. And so the only thing they're providing to us is stuff that is actually of value.
You're talking franchise level?
What's that?
You're talking franchise level or local?
Well, I think there is.
Yeah, no, I was just, I didn't know if anyone else had the question, because I'm like.
No, I
you're talking
appreciate
about-
the
Yeah,
question.
if it's franchise level you're talking about local level. If they don't do it, then we won't have it, or if it's not worth the.
Yeah, I don't think that the local level or the franchise level
Okay.
would offer training.
Right, okay.
They would, if maps wasn't valuable, if bold wasn't valuable, they would change it so that it was.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think that, so I think that, no, please, I love it. So I think there's extreme, real practical value. I've taken a lot, our industry produces a lot of outside people that want to sell to us. And they see us as a target market to be sold to. And they want to teach you just enough to take their next level of coaching or training. And so I have a love-hate relationship with the information business, both in the real estate investing world, the sales world, and the realtor world. And so if something is being offered to me by KW, it gets an extra special seal of approval. So I would talk to my accountability coach about it. I would ask myself, is it KW? And then I would say, what am I hoping to get from this? Am I implementing training? You've got to earn the right for more training. Am I applying the training that I've already taken? There's a lot of people who are addicted to training, and they're always thinking that they need to do more. As much as I love training, I don't like the phrase, knowledge is power. I think that's the only people who tell you knowledge is power are selling you a book, tape, or seminar. I think action is power. Now we need to think about what we do before we do it. We need to think about what we've done after we do it. But the power comes from the action. So be intentional about the training you're going to take. Decide, I'm going to take this training, I'm not going to take this training. If you take everything, that's a problem. If you take nothing, if you always say, I'm just going to sign up for the next one, oh, I can't do bold this year, I'm going to do it next time, oh, I'll just do this next time, if you're just always pushing everything off, that's a problem. So if you're taking everything, it's a problem. If you're taking nothing, it's a problem. Be intentional about what you're going to take.
I love that. It reminds me of the saying, education is just entertainment without
Yes.
implementation.
And education without implementation is entertainment. Correct.
I love that. Ben?
So coming from another brokerage, coming to this one, I remember the first 3 months, I was like, oh my gosh, when am I gonna work? Cause there's 1,000 trainings and everything like that. And I
And
was.
we don't even promote half of what.
Oh,
goes
yeah.
away, just so you know.
Well, and I was never one for training per se, I'd always learn from other people, ask questions, things like that. But I heard a quote that was there's a version of yourself in the future that wishes you would have gone all in now. And I think that's you're preparing for the future, right? You're gonna learn something that you're not gonna need right away, but you'll be glad you did for the future. I went to career visioning with Mark Willis,
Yes.
which was insane, that we can get, one of the largest CEOs or CEO
Yeah, CEO.
to come speak in front of 50 people. And I did not need anything in the moment, but I am sure, 100% sure, I will use it in the future. So I think it's kind of investing. Oh.
Too, like, it wasn't just about hiring,
Yeah.
he just shared from making his way up to CEO,
Yeah.
all of Keller Williams, he shared so much nuggets, like, it was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Was it you, Ben, that said something too about previous brokerages, typically they had a lot of sales training, like how to close the sale, but it was KW that was like, this is how to grow the business.
Yeah, so a lot of sales training, a lot of like what you can do to get business now, but which is great, but I think everyone kind of runs out of steam at some point, and you have to prepare yourself for the bigger picture. And that's why I kind of like the aspect of preparing your future self. Cause you may not need it, but hopefully you do.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Ms. Pam?
Well, this came from my previous career, but they used to always say to us, you have to spend money to make money. And so if you're not willing to invest in yourself and spend a little bit of money, then you're probably not gonna grow and make money as quickly as other people that are doing it. And so education and trainings has just always been a priority to me. I figure out a way to sacrifice something else to invest into training because I know in the long run, I'm gonna end up making more money. So sometimes I don't wanna part with the money, but I do it.
And it pays off.
It does pay off. I mean, when you're investing in yourself and your business, and then you're acting on the things that you're learning from the trainings, that is the key. You have to act on what you're learning. You can't just go to these things and then do nothing, but your business will continue to grow year after year. So
This is open to the whole panel, but what's the one question today that I didn't ask that I should have asked? Or a nugget that you really wanted to make sure somebody got out of being here today? And staying until the very end.
I'll say, and this isn't really a question, but one of the best things I've learned from like training the past year is to really master the mundane. And like,
Yes.
not do anything new, just do better. So that's been one thing and that's in life in general, because it doesn't always correlate with dollars and cents. Sometimes it's more about quality of life. So I think having that out of all the training, that seems to be the number one thing, so.
It's funny you said that, because that's my motto when I want to get up in the morning. Success is in the mundane, so I have to get up.
Yeah, success leaves clues. I think it's Ecclesiastes that says, there's nothing new under the sun. I don't have an original idea in my head. Everything I've stolen from other people. I heard somebody say, we lie, cheat, and steal. We lie in bed at night and think about the business that we're building. We cheat away moments throughout the course of the day to work on our business and make that happen. And we steal all the best ideas from everybody else.
I love that.
Sorry. I can't think of a question that I think you missed asking, but one of the things I just want to say, another reason that I do take trainings and it's really, really important to me is the people that I meet and the relationships that I build. And I think somebody said earlier, it's about, I think you said, Brittany, you don't have to rush out of the meeting to get home when you go to family reunion. There were 12 of us from my office that went last year, and we got so close, and like the relationships that we all have now within the office, because we all went away together. It's just, that's priceless. Signed up for Bold, my Bold group this year. We're getting together next Thursday. We made a pact that we were gonna keep that Bold group together, and we're meeting now monthly, every single month. And we're going out to dinner, we're going out for drinks, and we're just brainstorming. That's the kind of stuff that I love about trainings too, is just those personal relationships that you develop with other people, and they go on for years. That's priceless.
And being able to mastermind with agents from other offices, like we get to see each other all the time, and small groups are great.
but when you get to be with other fish from
Yeah.
other oceans, like
Yeah.
you just learn so much more. So yeah, I couldn't, and that's why we invited Kim over today. My goal in 2025 is to try to have more guest speakers from other offices. So that way we can start to build that level of collaboration. In Central PA, we have market centers. We have several market centers within an hour drive of us.
Mhm.
So why not spread that level of collaboration? And does anybody have questions? We can open it up to anybody in the room about any topic. Doesn't have to be education and training, but, well, you know.
How about your favorite training?
My favorite training, probably the training that really woke me up was 6 Personal Perspectives, which is a part of Quantum Leap now. But that really put things into, you know, in the moment, I was just in survival mode. So I was single mom. I was just working to make paycheck after paycheck after paycheck. So it was hard for me to like think long term. Because I was so into like, how can I make money to pay my bills now? And 6 Personal Perspectives helped me understand that although I liked sales, that's where my mind was like, oh wow, I actually enjoy helping other agents more. And so my love for leadership developed after that course, because that course helped me realize like what was my passion. Because I was just in survival mode for so long, it was hard for me to shift out of that. And that was the class that did it for me. And I would say that's why I like to go, because oftentimes it's not the whole class that is mind blowing. It's normally like one sentence the speaker says, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is exactly what I needed to hear. That's what I needed in this moment. And you just don't know when that moment's going to happen. So that's why I go to so much stuff.
Yeah, like your future self will wish you went all in today.
Yeah.
That was worth the price of admission.
I love it. Action.
So obviously our education opportunities are really robust here at KW. And there's a lot of different types of skills that they teach in the education, but if any of you have taken any classes outside of this network for education, or just developed any skills outside of what you would normally see offered in the real estate industry, what would be that recommendation that you would make for a class like
It
that?
depends on the topic.
Yeah.
I always think it's good to just look at other industries too.
Right.
To see how you can actually apply it to your own business. So just go to business trainings.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean, just an example would be like the most recent one we had was in Keller Williams, was EOS. Like that's how to run a small business, you know? So I would look at something like that, or just going to like networking events. Like if it's investing, Keller Williams, we're not really big on like investing. We have wealth building, which is great, which everyone should look into that. Their wealth building at the national level is really good. And then our small group, combine that together is just, it's amazing. So I would say just try to find your community. Make it an effort every single week, whether it's on Facebook or, you know, on social channels, or just look at what's going on locally to find out not just necessarily real estate specific, but running a business, because that's what you're doing, and how to build relationships. That's the best way to go about it. Actual training depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite class outside of the real estate network?
A favorite class outside the real estate network, so.
Or just a course
I'm
that you
part of a
took that really.
nonprofit organization, so my sorority, we have all kind of trainings all the time. So Delta Sigma Theta, they have trainings all the time, economic empowerment, financial literacy, they have, you know, how to run your business like a business. So I utilize that platform as well. And then also, depending on your church, they may run events too that you can learn through as well. So it all depends on what you're looking for. So my favorite, it depends on what it is. So I utilize my networking. If you want to talk offline, we can talk offline too, but it depends on what the education is.
Right.
So I have 2 answers for you. So number one, I've run Real Estate Investor Club meetups for about 20 years. So I'm rather partial to them. Mine is tonight in Lancaster, if anybody wants to be there. There's some other really good meetups in the area, and they're real estate focused. It's how I know Stephanie, and it's how I know Anthony. You know, he came to one of my meetups 20 years ago. But I think that, Tony Robbins, who puts on a 3-day weekend, Unleash the Power Within, is life changing. Yeah, Tony Robbins, and then if you're looking for something else, just like, Tony Robbins' mentor was a guy by the name of Jim Rohn. And you can find Jim Rohn's speeches online and on YouTube and stuff like that. And it's like, for me, it's like reading Proverbs. Jim Rohn is like short, concise, and so powerful. And it's like so short and so concise and so simple. You're like, why didn't I think of that? So those would be my
And
recommendation.
today's Jim Rohn really is, I want to get his name wrong, Rochelle.
Oh, Craig.
Craig Rochelle, right?
Yes,
So, he's powerful too. And
What's
that's
his last name?
literally,
Craig Rochelle.
it's GROESCHEL.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite non-real estate podcast for leadership.
And then the chamber too, they always have events.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I went to business school and I feel like I took so many random classes through my education there that I don't think I would naturally think to do. But for example, like my economics class explaining the market to like my clients, my economics classes helped me more than virtually anything else that I've ever studied in doing that. So I was just curious if you guys had any similar experiences with classes that are not necessarily directly related, if they impacted, in a massive way, so.
Who's the guy for branding?
Oh, Rory Vaden.
Yeah,
Mm.
his family reunion, his was my favorite class. And he has classes around real estate, but like, he does much more, and like, I thought it was really, really interesting.
Yeah, and he helps you tie like your passion to your purpose, teaches you about branding. He's got a lot of YouTube content. He is not KW.
Gotcha. And his name's Rory Vaden.
Yeah, Rory Vaden.
It's like more, it's social media stuff too, he's really good at it.
Yeah, branding.
Yeah.
I do a lot of Mel Robbins just for mindset. I listen to her podcast while I'm on the treadmill. I actually watch them on the TV, so I just think she's really good, and she's somebody that I just seek out and kind of listen to and follow.
Yeah, she was a speaker.
Mel Robbins,
Mel
she
Robbins.
was a speaker. I never heard of her in my life. Went to family reunion and was blown away by her. And then I just started, listening to her podcast. So.
I would say for me, Global Leadership Summit. It is a non-KW event that happens every year. You can go in person. I think it's in Chicago and live maybe. But most, like LCBC and other churches in the area do a huge live stream event. Normally the first week of August. So LCBC in Mechanicsburg, hosts it. And they make you feel like you're going to an actual event, even though it's live stream. But that's probably my favorite non-KW training that I try to go to almost every year. That's where I got exposed to Craig Rochelle, because he's one of, I think he might even be on the board for that.
Okay.
But he's been a speaker several times, but that's probably the biggest one that you get more than just leadership. Normally each speaker has like a specific topic that they speak to.
And there's a leadership summit I'm looking at, and I'm attending in Atlanta as well. Yep, so, but that's gonna be through the Potter House Church, yep, so I'm looking at going to attending that too.
Wow.
And I put Tony Robbins on my bucket.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm not even joking when I say, when I stack up every single book tip or seminar I've ever read on leadership, sales, business development, everything like that, that 3-day weekend at Tony Robbins, it equals that.
Is that the one he walks on hot coals?
Absolutely. Not only him, you do too. I'm a firewalker.
Oh, wow.
Anything to the extreme.
Gotta be quick.
Like it.
Take it to the extreme.
Yeah.
Don't know down into that category.
Crazy. And here's, okay, so you said take it to the extreme, right? This is all I'm gonna tell you. You do the firewalking on night number 1 of 3, And it only goes up from there, what the experience is.
Yeah, by the end, you're like strapped to a wheel, people are throwing knives.
It's where
Skydiving is
where it
amazing.
takes you, it's where it takes you
10
in your
out of 10.
mind and your belief.
I've done it so much, I can do it on my.
I don't know, Eric, I think we should do it.
It's
See you next year.
Well, you have to
Ryan
be strapped to
Buffini coaching
something.
for me was one of my best.
For the first,
My first
I
6
forget how
years, I
many
took it.
hours, but you have to like
Or
strap to
some of the
something
best
for the
training
first
I've
time.
ever
If you wanna do it,
And
you
it's simple.
have to. do it.
Yeah.
The best thing about Brian.
Not several hours, yeah, several times.
Other than.
With
make the
somebody
phone
on
calls, do
time,
the
you
Popeyes,
call
that's
somebody
the
back.
Popeyes.
Yeah.
Seriously,
There's nothing new under the sun.
my goal was to win the day every freaking
Unless
day.
you can find somebody in the city who will let you jump in.
I still-
Without that, but yeah.
Yeah, I still write my handwritten notes,
Yeah.
which I wrote a handwritten note on Monday.
It's fun. I would say like if.
I was gonna try to
Crazy
get
insane
listings
thing to
regardless,
do in
but
your life,
still.
it would be stand up.
You just roll it.
You should have been like,
I don't think the handwritten note got it for me, but they appreciated it.
100%.
It is that
Are
extra.
there any leadership books you guys recommend?
Oh my God.
I have a lot.
Don't get that. Some people like we didn't even know, like, take a book, leave a book, in the office.
I tried to behave and not.
I have a lot of business books. I have stacks of business books.
Proverbs. Proverbs.
I read.
Read the daily, I mean, there's 31 days in a month and there's 31 chapters
done
of
that.
Proverbs and it'll take you 10 minutes to read it.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're a Christian or not, or whatever, Proverbs is amazing.
It actually, he's not wrong, like, yeah.
It's- it- And I read it and I'm like, geez, they're talking about this whole all the time and it sounds an awful lot like me.
Yeah, if you don't read about
Kidding.
the book of Proverbs, it's like the wisest book ever.
That's actually
So,
where.
and I have a philosophy on books. I have like 30 half-read books in my library, or half listened to books in my library, I should say. And I used to think it was a bad thing, like I was like, oh, you know what? I should really finish that before I set that up, but I think that honestly, once you get what you need out of it, you don't really need to finish what you're set.
The new micro reading,
Yeah,
like it's about like listening to a podcast for 10 minutes a day, that's it?
you're gonna do it for 75 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have that true.
Yeah, just read the 7 pages of that.
I should sign up, I do it every day.
I would say anything by Maxwell,
Yeah.
John Maxwell.
Yeah.
Did you give me that book?
I gave you the.
No, you gave me another book.
Sure did.
Oh, that book depressed the heck out of me.
Oh, and then one book that, and Ken, I don't know if you read it, but Becoming More by Diana Kokoska. It is bold, put into a book, and like, that one I will revisit. Becoming More. Yeah,
I keep it in my book bag.
no, you keep it, that was.
I know, I'm saying I keep it in my book
Oh,
bag.
good, I thought you said I have to give it
Whenever-
back, and I was like, no, that should work.
I don't think it's a sales book, but I liked Lifestyle Investor, was it Sean Acor?
Yeah, no,
Oh
No,
my God.
but it's white with the line.
yeah, I went to his.
You went to the mastermind, and he
Yeah.
was the speaker.
Yeah,
That one
Awesome.
was phenomenal. I'm reading Main Street Millionaire right now by Cody Sanchez. That's good. She writes how she talks.
Well, that's cool.
And it is not PG, but it's hilarious, but it's smart. And it's talking about buying small businesses that cash flow. Like the non-sexy businesses, like laundromats.
And who is this?
Oh my God.
Cody Sanchez.
But I also think, I mean, I would also. There's so many good books out there that I think that people are looking for the next great book and they never actually read the basics. So if you haven't read Richest Man of Babylon, if you haven't read Rich Dad Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, Millionaire Next Door, Think and Grow Rich, and How to Win Friends and Influence People.
That's my favorite book.
What's that?
That's my favorite book.
Okay, good. So like, whenever you're talking to anybody about what book to read, I make sure that they've read the basics.
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Everything builds off of the basics.
I'm glad you said that because I have all those books. I haven't read all of them. Well, I haven't read all of them, but I do have, and I'm glad, you know.
How to Win Friends and Influence Those people.
I like Cliff Notes.
But my 16-year-old is really
I've
into reading books right now, and he has read the Millionaire, the Red, the Blue. He's on the One Thing right now, and he like tries to
Richest
watch
man in Babylon.
any
Richest
Gary
man in
Keller
Babylon.
type stuff.
I don't care if somebody wants to go into sales or business or whatever, if they want to be.
Want to
whatever,
start him off right.
richest man in Babylon. 1 minute salesman.
Make your bed. It's an easy read.
Yeah.
5 pages.
Eat that frog. This is by Brian Tracy. Who moved that?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The author,
Yeah.
Maxwell, something.
I think that's his description where you could get all the books up, like I.
It's just
Oh, really?
how you start your day.
Oh.
It's not really free.
It's a good read.
Yeah, the book.
$6.
It did, yes, indeed.
We took a hard left.
No, that was super, I love that, that was super helpful.
Just get a library here.
We need you guys to make a list of all of these great books and podcasts.
I took notes on
Well,
that.
thank you all for coming and investing your time so we could learn from all of you. And thanks for crossing the river
No
for us.
I left a training over there to come to this training. Justin did a session on, from the book, Miracle Morning, which I really struggle with that. So I went to that and then came straight to here, so, yeah, I'm not a morning person.
No, speaking of
Me either.
Mel Robbins, she just, she revisited James Clear, You Rise and Fall to Your Systems, right? So she was saying that we need to implement that into our lives.
Yeah,
So it resonated with me because of exercising. She's like, so if you get up in the morning, you don't have a morning routine, you don't, you fill yourself up with coffee, then you're really gonna have you're not gonna meet your goals, you're gonna have a terrible day. So just think of it that way, like if you struggle in the morning, you're gonna rise and fall to your systems and think of your
Yeah.
body as that system, the
Yeah.
first thing in the morning. So as soon as you turn on your phone, you just lost.
well, that was one of the first things is do not look at your phone.
Yeah.
Like you need to do the other things, the affirmation, reading the book, exercise, like all these other things need to be part of your morning before you even look at the phone.
If you
Because the
don't,
phone
rest
just
of your
totally
day is thrown
distracts
off.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I noticed that, and I know in the winter time I get worse, this we were talking about on the phone. You'll know, I'll look at the time and go, oh, I'm still on my road.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I've already started work.
Thanks, Jason.
Yep, you start
Yeah.
work,
Yeah.
and then you're like, it's 10 o'clock and you're sitting on the computer and on the phone and you haven't taken care of yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
I hate that feeling.
yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
What?
Yeah.
That.
I was at the Harrisburg.
I
got a try.
Okay, wait, so the future.
This kind of-
Future.
Hi, y'all.